add tens of thousands of dollars value to your house just by making some basic changes.
The front yard and the backyard need a lot of loving.
Plus a simple and quick update on the kitchen without any major reno works.
And then when this house is finished, it's actually going up for sale, so we can see just how much money we've made. Well, technically not us, the homeowners.
We'll go thirds.
We'll just claim credit.
I'm in on that.
Jeff and Emma are keen to sell their 3-bedroom home. It's pretty typical of houses in their area. The couple made a start on renovating themselves, but then, like lots of people, they ran out of money.
I think we underestimated how much the bathroom would cost, so unfortunately that's where our renovation had to stop. Because we ran out of renovation money, so we couldn't get to the kitchen or landscaping.
Yeah.
Jeff and Emma's real estate agent estimates the house is worth $500,000 in its current condition, but reckons some decent landscaping and a spruced up interior could add as much as 50 grand to the sale price.
Got a game plan, mate?
Yeah, when it comes to selling your house, the street appeals everything, and at the moment, this has none.
So what are you going to do, tackle this?
Yeah, take the handrail off and put a nice step here.
Oh, well, if you're working on the deck, that means you're responsible for all the concrete that's got to go. But don't worry, I'll do the concrete out the back.
Well, it's lucky that Jeff likes to pour concrete. Now he can help me rip some up.
What I'm going to do here, it's a bit of a wasteland at the moment, is re-turf the whole thing and then give them a screen. I'm not going to put in a picket fence. I'm just going to hedge it out and introduce a garden, because at the moment, there ain't any.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds good.
All right, I'm going to check out the back.
Beautiful.
There's not much happening in the backyard either. There's a lemon tree, but it's plonked right in the middle. A shed that's not very pretty. Now remember, we're doing this to sell. The lawn's had it, and as for the garden, well, it doesn't deserve the name. The biggest feature here are the fences. You probably look at this lemon tree and go, why would I take it out? It's big and it would have taken ages to establish. Well, the problem is, it takes up a lot of space. You're only left with a tiny little corridor to get to the rest of the yard. So if we take it out, it won't just double the backyard, it'll make the one we leave a real feature.
We're cool for the summer.
There's no use for this old wood shed anymore, and it's going to go too, which will open the backyard up even more. And just got to clear out the shed doesn't mean I can't have fun. Go on, Dad. Usually I'm a fan of trying to take these out in one piece. I've had a 100% strike rate of people picking them up and taking them away. But this one's rather large. It's not going to fit on the back of the ute, and everything's pop riveted, so I need to scrap it. Good news is, it is scrap metal. He's a doer.
Looks fantastic. It's opened it right up.
How good is this? You paint the fences, they'll look like new. Put a garden bed through here and a table and chairs, and we've set the scene.
Big changes.
You couldn't even see the scene before. Now, there's no getting around it. You can't patch this up. You can't mow it and make it look better. So the lawn, front and back, is gone. A turf cutter gets it done in a couple of hours. Easy as.
Whoa. OK, so, Emma, you do realise that this is actually meant to be for a car.
Do kids' cars count?
How has it got to this point?
Just busy lives and renovations, and everything just seems to get thrown into the garage.
Hey, I don't think that that's an uncommon story. Lots of places all around Australia. Now, a big-ticket item for potential buyers is actually a covered area for their car. Now, obviously, we can't fit one in the way that this garage is. Now, everyone always goes on and on about how expensive storage is. It doesn't have to be if you shop around. We have a mobile storage box that's come to us. It's $160 for the month. It's a short-term solution that'll make a massive difference to the sale of this home. Our next project is the kitchen. It's a huge challenge on our budget to bring it up to date. So the big tip is, take a good long look at what you already have.
We're doing up this 3-bedroom house to see how much we can make on the sale price, just by making a few cosmetic changes.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen inside, but the owners have actually already done a really fantastic contemporary makeover on the bathroom. We're actually going to take that theme and we're going to use it throughout the whole house, and that's a great tip. If you're getting your home ready for sale, use one theme and repeat it over and over.
Just look at these fences. You've got colour bond and paling. They're mismatched, but you give them a nice dark colour and they all look the same, and the plants will pop.
That's your favourite thing in the world.
Plants will
isn't it?
pop! Now, the fences, think about it. You replace a fence at about $100 a linear metre, or you go and buy a little sprayer for just over 100, spend a few bob on paint, and you can completely transform this backyard.
Now, a great tip if you're selling your home is to actually come out the front of your house and look at what potential buyers will see. But the real elephant in the room is actually the roof. Now, my first thought would be that would be a huge cost to have to redo. Well, you don't have to actually replace your whole roof, you can tart it up. And thankfully for us, Jeff and Emma had already planned to do that. Yes, for around $2.5 grand, the roof is getting a coat of paint. It's a clever trick that will really lift the look of the house. It also helps our bottom line because the owners are paying. Now, running out of budget is not an uncommon theme when you're doing a reno on a house, but of course, in this house, the room that is lacking the most should be the piece de resistance, the kitchen. And when buyers come into a home, the 2 rooms that they focus on straight away are the kitchen and the bathroom. Why? Because they are the most expensive. So we're going to show you how we can reno up this kitchen without spending a fortune. In fact, with less than $200 worth of paint, you won't recognise these pine doors. Now, a quick tip if you are doing this, as you take your doors off, number them. That way, when you're putting them back on, it's just so much easier and quicker, and you know they're all going to fit into place. Now, we've given these doors a light sand and then we've gone over them with some sugar soap wipes. The reason you do that is you actually do not want to have any dust or grease or dirt or grime on them. Now, one of the biggest problems when you're actually painting over the top of kitchen doors or even bench tops is it's hard to find a paint that will actually stick to it. Well, Dulux has solved that. They have this fantastic new all-in-one primer. And then it's time for the top coat.
Now, Joe's done a great job on the doors, but these bench tops are not going to match anymore. So instead of ripping them all out and spending $2,000 to $3,000, I'm going to paint them and give them the look of stone. So it's basically stone in a can. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is scuff up the surface so the paint has something to bond to. Now that the base coat's dry, it's on with the top coat. The advantage of this is it protects the surface, but also it's got a shimmy in it. So it basically gives it the look of granite. And all this for under $200. So if you're working on a tight budget, that's pretty good value. These kickboards have definitely seen better days. Now, when it comes to selling your house, it's all about looks, big impact and low spend. You can get these new kickers off the shelf from any hardware store. And it's as simple as gluing them up and sticking them on.
The easiest way to make a big impact in a kitchen without spending a lot is to put on new handles. Now, a great tip when you go shopping, take one of the old handles with you. That way you can actually get the same size, which means you won't have to drill new holes or fill in old ones. We bought in bulk, which meant for all of these handles in here, we only spent $60. It's all those simple things that really do make a difference. You don't have to spend a lot. Bake a cake, put a cookbook out on the bench, fresh flowers. It will leave potential buyers with a fantastic impression of your place. So all up in the kitchen, we have spent just over $600, but what a transformation. We've still got lots of tricks to come to help add thousands of dollars of value to your place.
You could have the nicest bathroom in the world, but there's no reason for you to go in and check out this house because it's uninviting without a front path. But with your own dedicated path, this house is now saying, hello, welcome, come and see my bathroom. First down with some road base, then on with the sand, and check your level. Now, the little paver I'm using is cheap and entry level, but I would happily use it at my house because it's got a lot of things going for it. It's a good size, they go down quick, it's a nice dark colour, and it's about the $35 a metre mark. I like this little bevel edge. When you sweep the sand with it, it looks like it's been pointed up. Now, you might think I've missed a few. Well, they're my cuts. So rather than doing them as I go, what you can do is do the whole job, come back, hire the brick saw for the shortest amount of time, and do your cuts. I love to replace a letterbox. It makes the place look loved, but in this case, I'm replacing 2 because there's the battle axe out the back. Rather than having them together like this, where we're just telling the world that there's next to no backyard, we're going to separate them. Put the neighbour on the other side of the driveway, give him a nice new letterbox, and for our makeover, I'm going to put it right next to this path. So they say good fences make good neighbours. If you're giving them a new letterbox, it's going to be a great neighbour. High five! Now, I'm putting lily-pillies across the front of the property because you get a lot of bang for your buck. And selling quickly, I need an established hedge. Mariah's great hedge across the front of your property. If I burn them, perfect. You've got small leaf, large leaf. But here's a really good example of what you get for your money. Entry level in a 100ml pot, around the $5. Then you move to $10, $20, and up to $55. So depending on how many you need to buy, how big your garden is, or how patient you are, there's a price range for everyone. I love that hedge across the front, but it is a great way to burn money. So what I've had to do is use my brain and think thrifty. I've bought plants that were in the clear out section. Now these melaleucas are only 20 bucks, they were normally 50. And on the ground, we've got Camelorium, we've got variegated Westringia and Lamandra, and they were all 10 bucks or less.
The aircon doesn't work, and it's right out the front of the house, which does nothing for the curb appeal, so it's got to go. Removing the aircon has left a big dirty hole in the wall. Patching small holes in gyprock is a job you can do yourself. First, I'm framing out the opening, then just cut a piece of gyprock to size to cover the hole. Some reinforcement tape will prevent any future cracking and strengthen the joint, and then it's on with the 3 coats of plaster. On with the top coat of paint, and you'd never even know the aircon was there. The owner, Jeff, has a mate who's a brickie, so he's fixing up the outside wall. Hey, good time, and I just finished inside, and it looks like you're almost done here. Beautiful. Thanks heaps for that. That's a great job.
No problem.
Beautiful.
Now, I can still remember the day that my mum said, come and check out these amazing vertical blinds. They're the height of fashion. It was 1980 and this house has not moved on since then. We need to get rid of these. They're the first thing you notice, not only from inside this master bedroom, but also from the street. Now, what we are going for is a modern, sleek look, absolutely on a budget. And the cheapest way that you can do that we can find that looks fantastic, are with these aluminium Venetians. Now, you can pick up this for less than $50. G'day, boys. So the Venetians are up. Now, for not a lot of outlay, it makes a huge difference. We can still keep the sheer curtains in the front of them. I think the tip is to make sure that you have them uniform all throughout the whole house. Now, nothing brightens up a bedroom more than a new doona cover, some bright pillow slips, and some cushions. But to add even more street appeal, Adam's got a great project, adding a new timber landing at the front entrance.
We're doing up this 3-bedroom house for resale to prove you can add big bucks to the value of your place with jobs you can do yourself. We've taken out the concrete ramp, but we've left the landing. So to dress up the front, I've decided to put down a deck. First, I'm fixing off these battens, but you want to remember to put down some damp-proof course, which is this black plastic to prolong the life of this timber. I've come across a bit of a problem when we were moving this ramp, which is this massive concrete footing. Now, instead of trying to remove it and create extra work, because it's going to rip the whole front face of these bricks off, I'm creating a new walkway from the driveway to the entrance. But because this footing's on an angle, I've had to rip down the timbers. And a good tip to remember when you're working with treated pine, reseal your cuts because it keeps it treated. For the decking, I'm using Merbau. Now, something to remember, with decking, the widths are gonna vary. It's timber, it's natural, it's just the way it is. So to get around that, you start with a straight board against the house and then measure out 5 boards, including the gap, and put another straight board in. That way, when I fill it in between, any difference is gonna be lost and the gaps are gonna look the same through the whole job. And once the decking's down, it's on with this Merbau stain, which will protect the deck and bring out those beautiful colours in this timber. The old ramp was ugly and it was going to be what was going to turn buyers off from purchasing this property. So with the new deck, we've stuck with the contemporary modern feel, like we have throughout the whole house. And let's face it, who doesn't want a nice new deck to welcome guests into their home? It looks beautiful. Fantastic and done on a budget. And that's what we're going for in the front yard too.
And if money's tight, agaves are great plants for putting in the garden. If your friends or family have got clumps of them, I'm sure if you ask, you'd take a couple out and you won't even notice that they're gone. Best thing about them is you don't even need to have a root system. You can cut them off like that and they won't go backwards. But in a garden like this, these will give them an instant established look straight away, and the price was right. These guys, in pots, probably $30 and $50 or $60 each. Now we're doing about 250 square metres here, which is a big turfing job. To keep the budget down, I've gone with the kikuyu. This one's called Eureka Kikuyu. Just remember, green side up. Now using the kikuyu, it's about $1,100 for the whole joint. If we were using a soft leaf buffalo, it'd be close to $2 grand. But I reckon there's something about a nice lush green lawn. I have an emotional attachment to my one. I love it, and I don't think you can put a value on it. But the difference between just selling your house and selling your house, it might just be the lawn. Something that really eats up your budget is landscaping, particularly the plants. But I've got some ways to keep the cost down. The backyard planting is very similar to the front yard. I've introduced a couple of curves to the garden bed and I'm using the same plants, except I'm spacing them out a little bit further to make my money go further. By the time they're down here, they've already fallen in love with the bathroom and fallen in love with the rest of the house, so you can save a few dollars by putting a few less plants in. The only plants that are different are this little pittosporum with its light foliage against that dark fence really pop. And I took a citrus out, so I'm putting another one in.
And for the rest of the house inside, we're adding simple furnishings that give big impact. In the lounge room, we've added a couple of rugs, a few cushions, some side tables, and just like in the bedrooms, we put the Venetian blinds in here, the dining room and the kitchen. Why? We want a uniform look throughout the whole house, giving it a real sense of an open plan feel. We know that that's what families love. So all these small changes really do add up and can make a difference. But the real proof is going to be in what price we actually get for this house at sale.
Okay, so homeowners Jeff and Emma have renovated the bathroom, but for their own convenience, they put the laundry in the bathroom. Now, if you're selling, it's better if they're separate. So to open it up and make it feel more spacious, I'm going to be taking this laundry to the garage. But with a garage like this, it isn't going to happen. So I'm going to give it a fresh coat of paint. That way, the new owners will be enjoying doing their laundry in no time. And you can see how much better this garage looks just by clearing it out. Now a car can fit in here and a lick of paint freshens the whole area up.
We are well underway with this makeover of a 1960s 3-bedroom home. Now we're trying to maximise its sale price just by doing a few simple tricks. As we know, with any home that's up for sale, it is all about first impressions. Look at this child's bedroom. A potential buyer comes in here, they see tiny little furniture, loads of toys, and they automatically assume it must be a kid's bedroom because it's a small room. Now, if we can actually declutter some of these toys out of here, get rid of some of the furniture, borrow an adult-sized bed, automatically you're playing tricks with people's minds, and you cannot underestimate what value that could add to the sale price. I mean, what a difference the adult furniture makes in here. We've got a double bed. We've gone for some really crisp, modern graphic designs for our bedding. On the wall, we've got some bright, happy canvases. Nothing too personal, though, because you actually want to depersonalise a room. Some side accents with one of the colours of the season with these wire side tables and some modern lamps. Now, the beauty of this room now is potential buyers will come in here and go, wow, what a fantastic guest bedroom. And that's what you want to do. You want them to imagine living here.
So the shed's going, we're going to scrap that, so we'll make a few dollars. Now, rather than pulling out the slab and filling up a skip bin, spending $300-400, we're going to paint it. Now, the colour, it's called dark grey. But when you see it down, it's a couple of shades lighter than the fence. So, with furnitures and plants around here, it'll just be another colour and blend into the background. I reckon the biggest difference in this backyard was just taking out those couple of small trees. And I know it's a sacrifice, but now you've got a backyard rather than those corridors. And if you've made a backyard like this, you want somewhere to sit. So, a couple of $100 for a table of chairs. I reckon this is a great little entertainer. And you can take it with you when you sell. This will be the cheapest little spot I've ever built. But it's a nice view.
Back inside, and I cannot overemphasise the need for styling. I mean, look at this bathroom, it's absolutely stunning. So we only need a few little touches in here. Storage is a big keep. This is a $35 flat pack. Took us about 5 minutes to put together. Now you want to add the touches of luxury. You think about going into a beautiful hotel and you see the big fluffy towels and robes and handmade soaps. Well, we recreated that here, keeping the same colour, a few little touches, and it looks great. I mean, the whole house looks great. But it doesn't matter what I think. Let's find out what Jeff and Emma think. So Jeff and Emma, you've been the most patient people ever with us. How are you enjoying the changes to your house?
Oh, it looks fantastic. Since the air conditioner's been removed, it feels a lot more modern and spacious in here. And carrying the neutral palette through into the kitchen, we've got rid of the wood grain, which is nice.
Coat of paint does wonders.
We feel like we've completed our renovation project with your help.
So that's the thing, you guys started it. I mean, you had the vision already, that bathroom, an idea of how beautiful it could be. Was it a bit strange having somebody else come in and finish it off?
It was a relief, actually.
That's good. And what about for you, Marley? What's been your favourite bit?
About the back garden, because it's opened up a lot and I can kick the footy around.
Real grass makes a difference, doesn't it? So what are your thoughts on the front of the house?
Oh, it looks fantastic with all of the new plants and green instead of the old daggy lawn. It looks beautiful out here.
Footpath breaks it up too. Opens up the entrance to the house.
Everything ties in a lot more now, so it's a pleasure to pull up out the front now. We're proud of the house.
Well, we're glad that you guys like the changes, but I guess the real question is just how much cash value we've added to the sale of this home. So our goal was to take a typical 3-bedroom home on the market, spend the least amount of money possible to get the most amount of profit for the homeowners. All up, we had a total spend of just over $10,000 for a fantastic result. Here in the front yard, the main purpose was to improve this home street appeal. So how did we do that? Well, we created a new little path that actually invites you up onto that gorgeous timber landing. It replaced the old concrete ramp. Painted the fences, the garage, and the biggest difference, new turf and simple planting. All up here, we spent a dash over $4,900. Real estate agent Julie says it's all about an impressive front entrance.
When people are looking for a new home, how the home looks when their family and friends arrive is really, really important. They're looking for something that they're proud of, and a lovely garden, something that's nice and shiny and looks fresh is very appealing.
In the backyard, we've continued the colour scheme from the front yard, painting all of the fences. That dark colour has allowed the plants and the turf to shine. The gorgeous soft curve in the turf just really softening all the angles back here. And a little table and chairs on that platform, creating the perfect space for potential buyers to imagine sitting back and looking over what is a really terrific entertainment area. All up out here, we spent just over $3,100.
I really like that the old citrus is here still because it adds some age and some depth to the garden, some maturity, and there's nothing better than picking fruit from your own tree and eating it.
Here in the kitchen, just by painting the existing cupboards, the existing bench tops, putting in new kickboards, new blind, and of course new handles, a total of $620 was spent to give a completely modern new look.
It's important to get the kitchen and bathroom right because that's one of the major things that women look at when they're purchasing a home, and generally the women make the decision. So if those items are looking as best as they can, then you're at a very good start.
For the rest of the interiors, we have kept things very simple. A declutter in every room, you can never go wrong with that. A couple of basic pieces, and as far as a colour palette, we have kept things consistent throughout the house. A neutral palette with pops of colour. All up with the 2 bedrooms and the living room here, we spent just under $1,400.
Decluttering the home is really important because then it creates more space and openness, and people can then start to visualise their items in here and really appreciate the feel of the home.
So Julie, what do you think of all the changes to the place?
It's fantastic. The market's responded really, really well to what we've presented here. People that have come through have said it looks fabulous.
Now, Jeff and Emma had planned to go to auction, but they got an offer too good to refuse. Okay, so for us, we're very, very excited to find out that figure. What did it eventually sell for?
$567,500.
Wow, so remembering it was valued originally at $500,000, we spent $10,003 to be precise, so that's a fantastic profit margin. I guess it just goes to show and reiterates the fact that you don't have to spend a lot on your place to get a great result for a sale.
No, I agree.
So just a tad under $60,000 as your profit from the sale. You guys must be relieved, I'm imagining, more than anything.
It's a fantastic result. We couldn't ask for any better.
Having the extra money has made a hell of a difference, and yeah, we'd like to thank you guys for all that you've done.
Well, you know what? It's been a lot of fun and good luck for the future. We'll see you all next week with more Better Homes and Gardens. But from us right now, what do we say, Marley?
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.